My name's Char with the C.
And I'm Shar with an S.
And we're not here to sell you something.
We're here to share something.
Click that subscribe button down below and click on the bell to get notifications in the future for our weekly videos that we put out every Thursday. And in this episode, we're going to talk about our minimalistic lifestyle. No, Shar, why don't you tell them about the minimalistic lifestyle?
So everyone's going to have their own definition of what a minimalist is. And we're not literally going by maybe the dictionary's definition, but we've kind of created our own. So everyone's going to have their own idea. Our idea of minimalist is just having a less complex life, simplifying our life, and just deciding to downsize our life and just make it more turnkey. That's what we did. That made it more minimalist, and just doing without, just going through and deciding what it is we do need and what we don't need. Now, the dictionary defines minimalist as living with less, not more. Simplicity as being free from complexity, absence of luxury, and simple state of quality. Unfortunately, many Americans have made their life very complex with accumulation of a lot of stuff, but we've decided to do the opposite, because that's kind of how we live our life, doing the opposite of what everyone else does, and we've simplified it and downsized it.
So my question for you, the viewer, is: do you want to be a minimalistic, live as a minimalistic lifestyle, be a minimalist? Well, it's pretty easy. There's about 2 things you need to do. So go ahead, push pause on this recorder and on the video, and get yourself a notebook and a piece of paper, a pencil, and a highlighter. You want to take a few notes on this video. You'll learn a lot of great things, a lot of good tips. The first thing you want to do, and it's remarkably simple, is change the way you think. All right, change the way you think. That's going to do wonders for your life, and also change the way you do things. There's no certification that I've seen, Char, and there's no license that I know of that's required to be a minimalist. And that's really good news, because that means all of you out there qualify and you can become a minimalist today. You can make that decision, which is really good, because you're going to get some benefits. Now, there might be some of you out there that think, okay, well, being a minimalist, doesn't that mean minimum, which means no fun, which means no spending, which means minimal, which means no extracurricular activities? That is not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is, fun can be free. It doesn't have to be, a lot of money. It can be inexpensive, fun, free, good stuff, right? That you can enjoy with your family. And there's plenty of ideas. Like, for example, go to the park and have a nice little picnic. Just you and your family, or some friends, some people that you care about. That park, unless it's a state park, you might have to pay a small fee, but parks are pretty much free, right? And also walking along the beach. For you that have beaches and you can go walk along those beaches, I don't think it costs anything. You pretty much do that for free. And also, what about concerts in the park? Like the free jazz concerts and stuff like that. So, being a minimalist is a journey, and it's a journey to your freedom, financial freedom. And there's going to be a lot of stuff that you're going to see on this video, and I don't think we're going to be able to cover it all in this episode. We might have to break this down into another video. But Charmin, let me ask you, aren't there some questions that you had ready to ask for them, our viewers?
Is newer, nicer, is newer always nicer? That's one of the questions. And so I want you to think about that. Is newer always nicer? I'll answer that question. Newer might look nicer, but it's not always nicer. And let me just say this. The way companies make products and appliances and different things today, a lot of times they make appliances, cars, and everything. They make them to actually break. So, a long time ago, things were made to last 20, 30 years. You didn't always have to be replacing it and maintaining it and all of those types of things, and repairing it. But now they actually make newer things where they break. So newer isn't always nicer. And a good example for this is our other home. We had a refrigerator that was 25 years old, was in great condition. It did have some problems, and then we got it fixed, and it was perfect. But when it got broken, we had to get another refrigerator, brand new one. And do you know that refrigerator broke 7 months later? And when I called, because it had broke down, they said, well, do you have a warranty? I said, why would I have a warranty with a new refrigerator? They said, well, if you don't have a warranty, then you can send it back or whatever, and we can make the repairs. It was just a big hassle. Long story short, I had them come and get it, and I didn't pay anything for it. I got my money back. But the problem was our one that we had for 25 years was working like a charm, even after that one little repair, after 25 years, while the one we got didn't last even 7 months. So that's a good example that newer isn't always nicer. And also, the second question is getting more always better? Well, no, not necessarily. What do you think, Charles?
No, I actually like things as, like, for example, cars. We buy our cars used because we can get all the receipts. Again, that's a good note. Take that down. Some people buy used cars, don't ask for the receipts, but you really should, because if the person was a good owner of their vehicle.
You mean the maintenance receipts?
The maintenance receipts, like the oil changes, tune-ups, and those kind of things. When did they put tires in the car? When did the engine work get done? Having all those receipts is really helpful, because then you can feel confident about your purchase. There's been some people who get a new car and drive it off the lot and have problems with new cars. So new car doesn't guarantee you're not going to have any maintenance issues. Isn't that right?
Right.
So that's why new to me isn't always better either.
Mm-hmm.
But now, being a minimalist, Charmin, wouldn't you say it's safe to say that the way money is respected is the root and the core of how minimalists spend their life? Isn't that pretty much it?
I think it can be, but obviously you can respect money and not be a minimalist. So that's a reality. But I also think that minimalists, their mindset is they're resourceful. They're resourceful people. And because they're resourceful people, then they're going to really be intentional about how they spend their money and how they respect money. So, the question Charles had was, do minimalists, I don't know if you were saying, do only minimalists respect money? I would say no, because there's people that aren't and they do respect money. But I know for ourselves and just we don't know a whole lot of minimalists actually, but
we know us. We minimalists. I know me and I know you, and I know our viewers out there. You all are minimalists after this video, right?
Right.
Thumbs up on that.
Yeah. So, but I would say the heart of a minimalist is to be resourceful, to respect their money, and to respect the things that they have. The things that they do have, they try to treat them well and maintain it and keep them for a long time, not to always be in the mindset, I got to get the newest, I got to keep replacing, because really that's how the rich stay rich. Rich people are more frugal and probably more minimalist and resourceful, and then the poor stay poor because they're always thinking, I got to get something new, I got to get something expensive, I got to get something bigger and better, and maybe they can't afford it. So that's how I would answer that question.
Well, I think it's okay to be a hater when it comes to debt, because people say, oh, you hate and you hate. And if we're going to hate something, let's hate debt. Let's get rid of debt out of our life. Can I get a bigger amen? Can I get another amen on that? All right, because we want to get rid of our debt. So what about minimalists, the plan, and how do people make that plan? Don't they have to be intentional in their decisions? Isn't that right? Char and I, we've talked about intentional decisions, about intentional decisions regarding your house, intentional decisions regarding a car, intentional decisions, you can jump in every time you want, intentional decisions talking about clothes, intentional decisions talking about, how many kids can you financially afford, maybe during the times when you were dating, before you actually get married and have kids and all those things, maybe you had a conversation, you maybe had an intentional conversation.
And I think intentional is, when you talk about all those different, house and car and clothes and the things that you have and the stuff that you accumulate, all of those tie into your money. So when you talk about living a minimalist life, and it is a lifestyle, just like a lot of other things, maybe you're a Christian lifestyle or whatever, minimalist is also a lifestyle that's lived out every single day, and that is purposeful. And so when you talk about a house and a car and your clothes and everything like that, it's about needs and wants. You need a house. Does it have to be a McMansion? No. You need a car. Does it have to be the newest car? Not to say that those things are bad, but if you can't afford it, or if you're just accumulating a lot of things that you're not using, how many cars do you need? How many rooms do you need if you're not using them all? And from my standpoint, where I come from, because of how I grew up, that's probably why I'm very resourceful. And space, to me, it has to be utilized. Otherwise, it's kind of like useless to me. Also, clothes. How much clothes do you have in your closet that you don't use, that you still have tags on, that you haven't touched for 3 years? Do you really need it? Is it really necessary? And you're still going out and buying more and more and more, and it's getting you in debt. So when you talk about minimalist, it has really been intentional about the things that you accumulate and the money that you spend accumulating those things, and then making the decision that there's beauty in simplicity. Do I really need all of these things that I'm not even utilizing? And then start thinking about those things that you don't need, and maybe you can go through and start giving some of those things. So some of the things that you don't use and you give them to someone else as someone else's treasure. And so maybe start thinking about that. And so when you come to your house, your cars, your clothes, your kids, can you afford your children? Not to say anything's bad about that, but also makeup, just hair products, so many things that people accumulate and spend so much money on, and are not able to save for their future and things like that. So just start thinking, minimalists think different, probably than the rest of the world.
Like Char says, intentional decisions is the heart and soul of a minimalist. Intentional decisions. I'm going to repeat this. Write this down on your little piece of paper, and with your highlighter, highlight this. Intentional decisions is the heart and soul of a minimalist. What you have to do is you have to make a decision. We had to make a decision. Right now, right this very minute, you got to make a decision. So if you made the decision to be a minimalist today, raise your hand. I see it. I see you and I see you. Okay, good. I want you to put your comments down and below. Tell us what you learned. And what about, you have anything you want to say about being a minimalist? Anything else you want to say to our viewers?
I just want to say and encourage you to the information that we give. It's not because we think, we're so special or this or that. We just want to share a different perspective, and it's something that you can either take with you and run with it, or you can take and throw it out the window or whatever, and you can decide that you want to share it with other people, which we hope that you do, because someone needs to hear it. Someone is right now feeling overwhelmed with their life, overwhelmed in their present situation, overwhelmed in their home environment. Maybe they have a lot of clutter in their life, but clutter is cluttering their mind. They can't think straight. They have no clarity. And so, we're going to talk about the next video more about the three reasons exactly why we became minimalists in more detail, point by point. But we just wanted to give an overview of a minimalist lifestyle.
Don't miss that next video, because Char put a lot of her heart and soul into it. You don't want to miss out on it. Do me a favor. That little red subscribe button, in the corner right there, click on that. That way you can subscribe and be a part of our YouTube family, all right? And click that bell so you can receive notifications of future Love Reconciled videos. We want to talk to you. We want to share. We want to give you all of our wisdom, all of our experience, so that you can live that love reconciled, victorious life where you can truly know what it feels like to be free as a minimalist. And you'll enjoy that. Every Thursday we're posting these videos, so you don't want to miss one. All right? So, hey, again, we love you. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for watching. And remember, love God more than anything.
And you'll do right by everything.
We love you. See you next Thursday.